This week on the Baby Then What podcast, we are getting into relationships, what actually happens to your marriage when you have kids, the mental load, the fighting, the touched out conversation, the resentment nobody admits to, and what to actually do when you're in the thick of it. Oh, and the two most common things you guys DM us. I want to murder my husband and my mother-in-law. So let's go.
Welcome back to the Baby Then What podcast with our cute little cue cards here. Today's episode is all about relationships. So mostly spousal relationships, I would say.
Yes.
How to navigate that through having multiple kids, what it's like going from like 0 to 1 to 2 now, and all the changes that you go through and some of the things that we've learned and would recommend to you guys.
And the questions that you guys have constantly sent us in, like, I want to murder my husband. I don't know if that was so much a question versus just like a comment. That
and mother-in-law.
And mother-in-law.
Those are the two top murdered people
sent in on our podcast. But
if you missed last week's episode, it was all about breastfeeding. Amanda is fully in it right now.
Yeah.
Towards the end of her journey, we share both of our different opinions, what we both did to make it work, and why and when we stopped. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all the things, and Instagram.
Yes.
Because it makes a difference.
For sure.
It matters to us. So a small little
favor
goes a long way.
Yes. Perfect. Please.
Kick it off.
Before kids versus after kids, do you even remember who you were as a couple before kids? Sometimes I do. I actually do. You? I like how I ask these questions to you, and I'm like, yes,
I can answer it. No, I think I remembered it like maybe the first or second solo trip we went on, and I was like, whoa, we like each other. We like each other, but like we also need to talk about things that are not related to a baby right now. Like
100%.
That was shocking to me because it was so in the trenches of like baby. And then we went on a vacation, and I was like, A, we have so much time, and B, what are we going to talk about?
No, literally, what are we going to talk about? Because all it is baby schedules, this, blah. It was weird. So you do remember.
Yeah, those trips or those moments help you remember, like,
who you were pre-baby, because you had a baby, because you guys love each other.
But and you got to do the things.
You have
like
to.
The trips were a good reminder. That's more of a big thing. But even like we like concerts.
Yes.
Like when we went to that first concert again, I was like,
so
okay,
happy.
We're back to regular programming, people.
Yeah.
Like
It's a really, really big shift, and it's ongoing. And even if you, like they said, marriage is a full-time job, and it takes a lot of work.
Yes. But I will say that the longer you go before doing that thing that brings you back to who you are, the harder it is to get back to that place.
Yes. And resentment strikes real fucking
if you're gonna wait 3 years to go on a date, that's really a long time.
You're just
like, it's really a long time. Like you need to be doing it constantly.
I agree. So what was the biggest thing that changed the second you brought a baby home that nobody had warned you about?
That I was gonna like my baby more than my husband.
Jessie and I were just talking about this. We really were just talking about this. Do you want to take it away?
No, you go.
Okay. So you pick your spouse. Do you know this is where?
Okay, no, I had no idea.
Okay.
That's why I said you go.
Do you want to go now? Because you're really good at this.
Okay, I'll say it. So to me, there's tiers of love, right? Like with your.
I don't know what you thought I was gonna say.
I don't know what you thought. There's tiers of love, right? You love your kids unconditionally. Like your kids could fuck up so hard, and you will love them anyways. They were born. They grew in you. You birthed them. Like they are your blood. Versus your spouse was chosen. To me,
unless you were in a planned marriage.
Well, yeah, that's not.
That's for another day. You chose your spouse. I
chose to be with them. You don't have a blood relation with them, hopefully. And
true.
And like while you can love them unconditionally, it's a different kind of love. Yes. It just really is. And so in my head, you have a kid that's like a tier 1 love. That is, they can, they can do no wrong.
Yeah.
And a spouse usually falls in a tier 2. Now maybe you're different and they're all together, but usually that's how a lot of people feel.
Yes.
And so when you have children, you feel that distinction. Whereas before, your spouse was
one.
You didn't know.
You didn't know
love.
Yeah, you didn't know any better.
Like maybe you had a dog. Sure, you could like your
different
dog.
Love. I love my dog.
But it's just different. And so I think that shift of like feeling that elevated sense of love to like a kid that like
100%.
you didn't it's not you did choose to have a kid, but like you didn't choose to have a relationship. Like this is your blood. It's
just very different.
And so I think that's a big shift to me, and I think both spouses probably feel it.
100%.
A woman or man more depending on the relationship, but you're both now loving this other thing
that came into your lives.
Yeah, it's really, that's the shift to me that's fucking hard.
I agree.
I agree.
So you are working more, again, like I'm saying, on your marriage because you don't have that. It's a very different thing. Of course, you love your husband unconditionally. You do. But it's a different feeling that, like exactly what Jessie said, your kids can do no wrong. Your husband or spouse can. They totally can. And that goes into the next words. Was there ever a moment where you looked at your partner, just your partner or yourself, and you're like, did we ruin a good thing?
Yes,
because pre-kids, it was a very different thing. Right. You guys chose each other. You're going to these concerts. There's no interruption. Like, yeah, I had a dog we had to get home to, but it's a very different responsibility. Whereas now you're like, my God, we're in the trenches. We have this newborn. We're not going to have sex for a couple months if that's the case.
Or more.
We are on top of each other, not sexually, like on top being like, you do this, you do that. Like, and you're like, I want to murder you today.
Yeah.
Not actually, but like, that is where, yes, you are not alone if you have thought that.
No, that's a very tough thing, and I feel like a lot of people are like, especially if you have difficult kids, if you don't have support, like all of those things can add up in your brain and just be like, what the fuck did we just do, and are we dumb? And then the crazy part is when people have multiple kids, and you're like, my God, are we actually clinically insane?
Yes.
Like, what is wrong with us?
Yes.
Like, that's kind of
because you're taking away what Jessie said of just you and your spouse, and now you're adding more. So you add one, and now you're adding two. So it's taking away time from you and this lover that you had. That was weird. I don't know why I said that. But you and your partner or husband that you had before. It's the time, all the time that you had, it's slowly getting minimized. That is why you have to put the work in.
No, and I remember we filmed an episode, like one in the first season, and someone came on, I think it was Marley, she came on, and she was like, I had to choose having like a third kid or be with my husband, and like that's kind of and at the time I couldn't relate at all.
Yes.
And now I'm kind of in that position where I'm like, if we go down the path of having a third kid, it's just fucking gonna start all over again, and we gotta go back to the trenches and back to the things, and like we're just in a good place, and we're happy, and we're doing the things we want to do, and we're going on trips, and we're being together, and I'm now back again.
I'm totally back in. We can't go anywhere this summer. We are back here with a newborn. It will change next summer, but yeah, the last 7 weeks have not been fucking easy.
No.
At all. And we still have young kids. Like, I have 3 kids under 5.
That's crazy. That's really crazy. So speaking of that, going into like the mental load and all the things, can you explain the concept of a mental load for partners that are maybe listening to this?
Yes. Like, not the moms, for the dads.
Yes.
Okay, so the mental load is...
that like mom's experience.
Yes, so you have everything in the back of your head. Like, we're talking about either babies and toddlers. You're talking about the diapers, the doctor's appointments, the schools, the camps, the extra activities, the dinners, the lunches if you're packing lunches, oh my God, is my kid okay? Like, that's just a couple that I could think of.
And it's like one list per kid. And they're all on different stages.
Yes.
So you have to know, your morning probably starts with bottle, feeding, school, lunch. So, like, they each have their own algorithm.
And then past all that, it's like, do I have enough laundry detergent for the kid? Do I have enough formula for the kid? I have to calculate, like, when am I ordering this? When am I ordering that? Am I going to have enough for this? No, it's never ending.
And I actually went off on Josh the other day, who, by the way, is very supportive.
Yes.
So we're not going
to
but it's good to explain it. And I was just like explaining the list, because he's like, how can I help? And I was like explaining the list. He's like, whoa. I'm like, that's my brain.
That's what goes on in our brains, women's brains, all the time. And we know you work. Jessie also, like, I run the podcast full time. Jessie's a full-time job past this. Yes. So, like, Jessie's mental load's a whole other fucking mental load. But, like, especially for women who are not just doing the baby part, but also doing a full-time thing and running other things. Imagine and having multiple kids. That's where you want your partner as your support, where you don't want to argue. When you want to see your partner, don't you just want to hug them?
Yeah.
That's it. sometimes you don't even want to speak. You kind of just want to look at them and just give them a nice hug and be like, that's all I needed today.
So you know what we've been doing recently that's actually really helpful is we'll specify kind of like what kind of interaction this is. I'm like, I need you to sit with me and plan and talk about who's coming, where are they going, what are they doing. I was like, I don't want to know how your day is. I don't know how you're feeling. I don't care about your work.
I need your time right now.
Just give me 5 minutes to plan. And then, like, last night, he was like, do you want to go for a walk? And I was like, okay, let's plan. He's like, I don't want to plan anything.
I just want to go on a walk.
Go on a walk and just hang out.
That just happened to us this week, too. It's very weird.
Yeah, so I'm like, I would actually prefer that scenario where I'm like, my brain can kind of, like, decompress and, like, go back to, like, fun.
Yes.
Or, like, it's during the workday and I have a million questions and I got to get through my list of
100%.
everything. So I'm like, at least
you need both.
You need both. But it's, you know, sometimes they get jumbled into the same conversation, and then I feel like that's when you end up fighting.
Yes.
Because you're like, I need to talk to you about the scheduling thing, and he's like, well, you didn't ask me how my day was. It's like,
well, it would literally just happen with the cottage.
Right.
Literally, this just happened, and so Jesse's like, we're picking a cottage weekend. We do one every weekend with the kids, and I'm like, Adam.
You said every weekend.
That would be so nice. Every year with the kids, and I went to Adam, and Jessie has a full schedule also, and I'm like, these are the 3 weekends. Can you tell me? But it's taken how long? When did you ask me this?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago for me to ask him what weekends work.
No, Josh.
Where yesterday I sat down and I was like, do you want Jessie to call you? Do you want Jessie to fucking call you, or are you going to tell her the fuck? I was like, the next step is Jessie calling
me.
I was like, Jessie's going to call you. So
I'm very fun in life, but you don't want to piss me off.
Yeah, and I was like, do you want her to get up your ass right now? But we figured it out, but it's a great thing. I like that. Josh said, I want to go on a walk. I want to keep it separate. Adam and I are going for dinner for the first time.
That's exciting.
7 weeks later.
That's exciting.
Now I can have an Aperol Spritz. So couldn't do it for Jessie's birthday, but we're gonna repeat Jessie's birthday again. Those are 2 very good tips.
Yeah. I like that. Okay, and then this is another thing that I always like to ask. Why is it that both people are completely exhausted, but somehow both feel that the other one has it easier?
Oh, this is the easiest thing for me to explain. I want to start with the mother who's on mat leave first. Yeah. Not like what you're doing, but like the mother that's fully on mat leave, not working.
Yeah.
So mat leave is not a vacation. It is a full fucking time job. So
we literally just did an episode on breastfeeding.
Literally, that is a full job. Newborn is a full job, and even if you are on mat leave with the newborn and toddlers, if being a mom is a full time job, let alone everything else that you are doing. Even if you have help, also, it is a full fucking time job. Yeah. Your brain never shuts off. Okay. The only difference between that, I can explain as someone who runs their own business, where their brain, again, doesn't shut off. But if you work for someone else, you come home, your brain shuts off.
Yeah.
That is the luxury of working for someone else versus running your own business.
Yes,
is that fair
100%.
to say? Okay, so that's step 1. So as a mat leave mom, you are working all day nonstop. You think that they have it easier because they shut off the work life, they get to do work life, they're exhausted from work life, and they come home.
And their life is taken care of for them at home, right? Like presumably you're the mom that's cleaning, cooking, doing whatever.
Right.
Like home life is great, or you're managing, or you're doing the grocery shopping, and you're making the dinner. Like you're doing all the things. At the end of the day, fundamentally, when you have a kid, the list of tasks is just gonna grow longer. So you're doing 10 more things, he's doing 10. Everybody feels like they're doing 10 more things.
There's just more things. So the best tip, honestly, and that is exactly what Jessie said, like, what can I do or whatever. Like, there's no what can you do, you just tell them. Yeah. Just tell them. I literally send Adam an email now being like, I need you to do this and this.
Yeah.
Send them a fucking email.
I know. I think the biggest thing for me was waiting for them to
ask. They're not asking.
They're going to take initiative.
They're not asking.
They're not, no.
Men don't ask, and this is not, again, we're not shitting on them. The way women think and the way men think is completely different. It's not a relationship. Well, it isn't a relationship episode, but we are not therapists. Let's preface that. We've just been through it all and have had millions of women write in and have a million friends that are women, and they're all the fucking same. Yeah. You guys, if this is a male listening, you're all the fucking same. We're not faulting you for it. You guys can fault us for thinking differently as well, or that we're more sensitive.
It's just a different way of approaching things.
So just let them know. Yeah. Don't wait around because
you're gonna be waiting until you're 85 years old. Like just they're gonna take initiative on certain things that like they care about. Like I'm sure people, husbands want to take initiative on the sports program.
100%.
But in general, if you need shit done, you give them a list.
Send them an email, send them a text.
Let them do it and follow up in a week. Don't bug them either.
No.
They're
Send
gonna
them like a ping. You should do it. Yeah.
Okay. This is good. The fighting. The fighting is interesting. Are you fighting more since having kids? And what is the dumbest thing you have genuinely thought about? I honestly,
we're 100% fighting more after kids.
Because everything's a decision.
Yeah, everything is exactly.
Like, should I buy Pampers or Huggies? That's a decision.
Yes.
Does your husband give a flying fuck?
No.
Should I send my kid to this hockey program or that hockey program? Maybe that one they
your
care
husband
about.
gives a fuck? Yeah, I don't.
But everything is a decision.
Everything once kids come in is a decision.
And so therefore, if you agree, great. If you don't agree, which is gonna happen all the fucking time,
right?
You are gonna start fighting.
Yes.
And you also, this is the other thing. I always say this because I work with my mom, and in the working world, she is my
boss,
senior and boss, and I look up to her, and when she gives me advice, I take it. As a mom, when she gives me advice on how to parent, in terms of what I think.
You listen and take it with a grain of salt.
The problem is, okay, she was a mom before me, she does have experience, I want to listen to her. When you're comparing it to your husband, who is right?
Yes.
You both became parents at the same time, for the most part.
100%.
Maybe marriages. You both became parents at the same time. There's not someone that's more senior.
No.
There's not someone that's necessarily right.
No.
And you both feel strongly about your opinion when it comes to certain things, and that's where you fucking fight.
Well, we talked about this, and I still agree. The one who is taking care of the child more, I think, has an upper hand.
And then if the other parent accepts that,
yes,
then
you're good.
Okay. If they don't accept it, that's a problem.
So I'll give you a full example. You ready for this? I'm going to make it very clear. Andy got her tongue tie. Okay. So for the tongue tie with the laser, I'm going to keep this as short as possible. You have to do these exercises before going in for the laser. And then you go in, they do a whole checkup, whatever. And then they're telling you to continue doing these exercises, blah. You don't have to listen to them. You make the choice for your baby. They could tell you the tongue tie can grow back, blah. And I made that call. Not Adam. I made that call. I was there. I did the appointments. I did everything. So I came back and I was like, this is the situation. We're done. We did the tongue tie. I'm not torturing my child anymore. I will not be doing tongue exercises. Her tongue tie it'll never grow back to the full extent. He goes, well, why didn't you do it? Like, if they're telling you to do it, I'm like, if you don't trust me in this decision, because I just went through it all, you can go and do it next time.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
That was it. I'm like, you're either trusting me with this, unless you're physically doing it with me, or actually doing a whole thing. I go, unless you want to start doing tongue exercises.
Yeah, no. There's
examples to every situation. Yes. Of course, a school.
Yeah.
I did a PowerPoint presentation for Jessie. I was like, public, private. These are my thoughts on this. There's different ways for you to approach it, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to decide together.
100%. And I think, the bigger the decision, obviously, the bigger the stakes. There's more fighting that can come. But I do think it has to go back to, if you fundamentally trust that the other person has the best interest in mind,
yes,
you can approach every conversation from a respectful place.
Of course.
Adam obviously thought you had Andy's best interest.
Of course, so it dropped. That was it. He was like, of course. I go, do you trust me? He goes, yes. Conversation, argument, dropped.
Sometimes, there's high stake situations and people want to fight for the sake of fighting just to get to somebody. Right. So in those scenarios, it's a really fucking hard uphill battle.
And you know what? The best tip, I feel like, most of you who are listening are either pregnant or planning to get pregnant or fully were the stage that Jessie and I are at. But I would talk about a lot of these things. That's a really good tip to give. I would talk about the schools you want to send your kids to, the big picture. We didn't really talk about it. I remember we spoke about a couple things, Adam and I, when we started maybe to become pregnant, but I feel like a lot of bigger conversations should be had pre-kids.
Well, also it impacts your decisions with how many kids you want to have. If you don't want to send your kids to private school and you don't want to send your kids to camp and you want them to just do one activity and you want to have 6 kids,
right?
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you want to send your kids to elite private schools and elite sports and elite camps and no. You're not having 6 kids.
No,
it's not happening.
No. Okay.
Okay.
I like this.
And next, which one are you going
The touched out?
Yeah, okay, ask.
Can we talk about being touched out? Because I think this is the thing that affects relationship the most and nobody names it. So this goes both ways for males and females. So if the guys are listening to this on why your wife doesn't want to have sex with you at the end of the day, or why women don't want to do it, you're touched out. There are days where you're like, as much as like the newborn's on me all day, and then the kids are like clawing at me, and then you're like, husband, I'm like, I don't want to be touched right now. Like that is so normal. You are not crazy, and partners have to understand that. Which it goes both ways. Your partner who didn't have the child could be at work all day, crazy meetings. So I'm just pulling shit out of my ass. Don't stop talking to you. Where at the end of the day, if you're the one who's like, I'm ready to like have sex with you, or I'm ready to do something, they could be like, I'm not in the mood. It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's all the other things, and people don't talk about that.
No, I always think that like the hardest part about having kids is, especially in the mat leave world, is that you're living two very different lives. Like before you have kids, presumably you're working, he's working, you both can come home, you both had a long day, you want to talk a little, you want to chill a little. It's very similar lifestyle. Then you have like this world where you're lonely and you're by yourself and all you want to do is talk, and they just came home from a busy day and people want to shut the fuck up, and you're like living in two different worlds. And so then it's like a mismatch.
And then that's when the arguments start also. 100%. You're like, you don't want to do this or blah. Like this was...
Like, not to say like you should be scheduling sex, because I think that's a little bit ridiculous. But I do think like scheduling connection time.
Yes. Not
just like, let's sit on the couch and scroll our phones together, but like...
Go for a walk.
Go for something. Sit in a hot tub. I don't know what you guys
want to do. Sit in a hot tub.
Something.
No, we literally made our plan for next week because I wanted a really nice glass of wine. We have a balcony, and I was like, that's what we're doing next week. The kids are going to bed. Once everyone is sleeping, let's go sit on the balcony without our phones.
Yes.
And with your phones and actually connect. And there's no phones for 5 minutes. Wouldn't you be happy for just 5 minutes of face to face?
No, I don't. That's why I like a walk.
Yes.
Like last night we went on the walk and he started with the phone and I walked back.
Yes.
I was like, I'm not going on a walk.
And you know what
I
get so upset about, and me and Jessie actually talks about it this week, is that again, like women are so different. I said, Jessie and I spoke. We don't talk every day, but when I talk to Jessie and we have the 10 minutes, I learned more about what Jessie did the whole week in the 10 minutes. And sometimes I feel like my husband learned about me all week when I see him every single day.
Yeah, because this applies to your kids too. Like I just learned it coming back from my trip I did a one-on-one trip with my older son. And I was like, the level of connection that you can feel with your kid when you're not distracted on a phone or with 100%. Other things, it amplifies so much. Like 100%. I always say to Josh, I'm like, wake up in the morning, connect for 5 minutes, look at each other, hug, say hi, say good morning, and then you can go on your way.
It's so minuscule, but it goes a long way.
Yeah. And it goes a long way. I know we all know this shit, but it just like, sometimes you just need the reminder from somebody else that isn't like your spouse, just to like recalibrate your brain a little bit and be like, okay, yeah, this is what I gotta do.
You have one more there?
No, this was the thing. What is one small specific thing your partner does that actually makes a difference? Not a grand gesture, but something real. Something Josh does that I love is when I'm going off on like complaining about something or doing something, he goes, do you want solutions or support?
Yeah.
And he's like, do you want me to come up with a solution with you? Or do you want me just to listen and just hear you out? And it's like such a good reminder, because sometimes they start giving you solutions and you're like,
you're like, just listen. That's actually good. I like
or sometimes you're like talking and they're like out to lunch and I'm like, are you not going to help me?
Yeah. Like, are you listening to me or are you not listening to me? I like that.
It's like level set to be like, what exactly do you want my role to be?
I like that. What do you want my role to be in this moment?
Yeah, like just tell them. It goes back to like, just be specific. Like they want instructions.
They need instructions. They always say your mother-in-law's child is your first child.
Well, guys, at least we are moms of boys, and we are going to be really good.
Okay, our last and final piece of this is, what do you actually say to the couple who is really struggling right now? Because we have a couple of those. We probably have more couple of those. Not the therapist answer, but the honest one. Someone is coming to us, which they do all the time in our DMs, and as we started this whole podcast, I want to murder my husband, or I want to divorce my husband.
Yeah.
But you don't actually want to divorce your husband. That is just the moment that you were in where you write that, where you're like, I can't get through to him.
What do I do?
What do you do?
I would say the number one thing is that it's common. Everyone I've spoken to has some shit that goes on with their marriage after they have kids. So
Yes.
it is very common.
You're not the only
You are not
one.
the only one, but almost everybody I know in a strong marriage resolves it.
Yes.
So if you are feeling awful, if you're going through a rough patch, it is so normal, but you also should know that it ends. And if it doesn't end, then you know you have a bigger problem.
I 100% agree.
And the timeline could be different, right? Some people's are 3 months, some people's are a year.
Yeah.
You know, it does change, but if you're not finding that it's ending, then you have a bigger problem and you need to do some real work. But if you're on the shorter end of things, don't let it get bad. Go back to places where you remember why you love each other. Like, figure out those date nights, those moments of connection.
I agree.
Because those prevent the shitstorm that comes later.
Yes.
That's my...
That's perfect. So with that is our relationship episode after kids and like pre-kids. If your partner was listening, hi.
Send it to them.
Send it to them if they weren't. If you are listening alone and nodding at everything, send it subtly to them. You know, like,
Yeah.
this is a really good episode. You should listen to that. We don't
Listen
mind.
to these crazy bitches talk about
Literally. We love our husbands.
Yes.
Not that they listen to our podcast, but we should bring them back on.
Yep.
We really should bring them back on now that, like,
It's
I kind of have questions for Josh. I feel like we can, like, I feel like we got to
Yes,
plan
we
that.
should.
In September, back to school, once everything settles, we are bringing them back on. We will find
if you
a time.
want them to bring, if you want us to bring them back on,
Comment.
so that we know.
Comment underneath and we will send it to them. So they will.
Yeah, we
you
need
know.
the ammo to be like people want them.
People need you. So that's that. Follow us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. New episodes every Thursday. We will see you next week.
Bye, guys.